What the hell's that?
Hey, Jessica, good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. How do we mute this? You know how to do this? Good morning, the Fish County Aging Instructor. Yes, ma'am.
Hey everyone, can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good, good. I'm so glad y'all are all here early. I'm gonna try to go through all this as quickly and painlessly as I can. It is all going to be recorded, and I am going to send y'all a copy, and it'll be posted also to adrcla.org at the end. So don't worry if you miss anything. All of the links and everything will be also attached to the presentation. So I'm going to give everybody 3 minutes to get here, and then we will get started. And just so y'all know, the order that I'm going to go in, just so that I know there's going to be a couple of people that are only going to be in MIPPA or only going to be in ADRC. So I'm going to do MIPPA first, then ADRC SenioRx reporting, and then I'll go through the dementia funding stuff. So feel free to kind of come in and leave as you need to. I'm gonna try to do it 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, but you know, if we get a little off, you know, I apologize in advance, but I will also stay on as long as y'all need me to answer any questions or you know, figure out anything that you don't understand or unsure about. And I'm also going to provide y'all again with the link if anybody doesn't necessarily want to talk in front of everybody, but wants to meet with me one-on-one. You can always schedule a meeting and we can hop on Zoom and do it that way. But we got about a minute left. I think really the MIPPA and ADRC stuff is really just going to be showing you the monthly reporting form. And then the dementia funding is new. And so I will go through that with y'all as best that I can. But most of this is not going to be really new information, just new reporting. And it's my goal that, especially like with the ADRC SenioRx reporting, that this will kind of cut down the amount of time y'all are spending doing admin stuff, because I know y'all are a few number of people with a massive amount of volume, and I want y'all spending as little time kind of communicating with me, just the reporting stuff, as you possibly can. So if there's anything along the way that you feel like does not work for your operations, and there is something that you want that's more efficient, just tell me, because I'm more than happy to be flexible, and allow each one of y'all to do what works best for your agency and your operations. I am not going to change any of the rules, policies, and procedures that y'all have in place, each one of y'all individually at your own agency. So any of this with kind of the reporting and policies or whatever, if your agency requires anything additionally of you, that will stay in place. I'm not gonna change that. This is really only changing kind of what y'all communicate back to GOEA. And as far as what you're required to send to me other than these reports, nothing. You will keep whatever way your agency sort of records your activities. I know most of you are on WellSky, but some of you are not and don't want to use WellSky, and that is totally fine. So whatever way you are normally recording clients and calls and what you do in your daily operations, you will continue doing that and keeping it at your agency. The reporting part, there is no other documentation other than what you enter into the report that needs to come back to me. So you will just keep everything else at the agency, for audit purposes, in hard copy or digitally, however your agency prefers you to keep it. So it is 10:32, so I'll go ahead and get started. Like I said, I'm going to start with MIPPA. And this year, MIPPA is going to stay the same as it was last year in terms of what you're doing, how much you're getting paid for it. The big difference this year is the grant was cut for a lot of programs. So really the ADRCs are going to be our only MIPPA providers continuing unless they raise our grant next year. So it's going to only be the 8 of y'all, and the units stay the same as they were last year. So you still have the beneficiary contact, the group outreach and education, and media outreach and education. Same unit cost as it was last year. So that's 100 for every beneficiary contact, and then 500 for the group and media outreach or education, and then 100 for each unit of training. So the difference this year is there is actually training courses that are available. There are 22 of them. They are not terribly long, and they are provided through the SHIP TA center. So I'm going to send you in the email the link to it. If you have never signed into the SHIP TA center before, we can get your account set up, and that way you can access it. It really is, I've taken about 3/4 of them now, and you can kind of get through each one of the 22, and you can do as few or as many of the training units as you want. If you complete all 22 of them and you take the certification quiz, you get an additional $500 unit at the end for doing the full certification, and you will also be SHIP TA certified. But again, that it is totally up to each one of y'all, which units you do, how many of those units you do. Just whatever works best for your agency. If you along the way are having trouble sort of, meeting your goal number of units, reach out to me. I can help you with the group outreach and education and the media outreach and education. And I am very confident that, even if you end up like, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to earn all the rest of the money, we will figure out how to get the rest of the money earned for you. Don't call me maybe the day before the contract ends, but, as long as you give me a couple of weeks, I can help you out and get you situated so that everybody earns all their money and nobody is leaving anything on the table. The main addition this year, and this is going to be mainly for accounting and finances benefit, is that each month in which you perform MIPPA units, you're going to do a monthly report. And all it is telling me the number of units that you did so that I can have on paper to submit to accounting and finance. This is the number of units that we did, and get you paid more quickly. Nothing is changing in terms of your reporting. You will continue to report each one of them in stars. Why have I put on at the beginning of all these backup reporting forms? I had several agencies that were having like massive issues with getting locked out of the system, getting constant password issues that were due to no fault of their own. And they were having a big influx of people because of open enrollment and getting stuck to where they were waiting on the Booz Allen people to reset their account. So in order to fix that, I have backup forms for each one of the reporting forms. If for some reason you can't ever get into, you go and you're locked out, just so that you don't have to wait. Whatever you enter on these, I will upload into the system for you, so you won't need to report it twice. It's just so that you have a backup way that will never be locked to you, that you can report your units and you're not ever stuck not being able to report. So the monthly report and all of this is going to be, and I should have, I guess, gone to the homepage to show y'all. So if you go to ADRCLA.org, you can see your 4 sort of categories, but the 3 that we're going to talk about today. If you look in the middle and it says MIPPA monthly reporting, and then go underneath that and you click on the monthly report, and it's going to pull up your MIPPA monthly report. And it really is just the number of units that you completed in the previous month. You can, and really I would like to have it by the 15th of the month following the month in which the units were completed. But you can report as often as you want. You just can't report any unit more than once. So once it has been reported through your monthly report, that is the only time it will go through the monthly report, because that is going to determine, how much you get paid. This will get matched with your stars numbers at the end of each quarter, just to certify that, the amount you're reporting is the amount that that is submitted in stars. And the payment, if you get the monthly report in by the 15th of the month, you should be paid within 2 weeks. I'm hoping it's going to be shorter than that, but within 2 weeks of submitting the report. And if you have any month where you have completed no units or want your money has all been earned. Obviously, you don't need to continue doing the monthly report. But that's all that you have to do, from my side. If you miss the 15th, your payment will get delayed only because that is my deadline from accounting and finance, and they want to process all of the monthly reports at one time and one payment. If you're unable to get it there by the 15th, shoot me an email. I will tell them to hold off on the payment if it's just a couple of days. Otherwise, it's just waiting until the next month. But that is about it for MIPPA. No other changes. Everything else remains the same. And I will, does anybody have any questions on anything thus far? Super. And like I said, if you have questions and you don't want to ask them, you know, in front of the group, shoot me an email, call me, text me. You know, I'm happy to be on the phone with you and you know, kind of one-on-one, help you figure anything out.
Miss Jessica.
We will now.
Miss Jessica,
Yes, ma'am.
this is only if
ma'am.
you, I'm sorry, this is only if you can't report it in stars, correct?
So the monthly report is everyone will do a monthly report every month. That is
Okay.
regardless of stars, and that is to submit to
Okay.
accounting and finance. So that is
Okay, thank you.
additional this year, right? But it will also kind of help you know where you are in terms of payment and yeah, and it should match what you've reported in stars, obviously. But if you have
Jessica.
any questions along the
Hey,
way,
Jessica.
yes, ma'am.
This is Shannon. I mean, the
Hey,
biggest
Shannon.
problem, hello, the biggest problem that I had with stars is running those reports.
So would be wrong.
You know, you
Right.
can't make heads or tails of some of these reports, you know, the date line you put in. And you and I talked about this last year where I had you running the reports because
Right.
you just weren't getting stuff. So I don't know, maybe
And
we can talk about it
I
later.
think I have a way to create a report that y'all can all access. That will literally just be the number of units, unless one of y'all need addition to that. Let me get with them and I
Okay.
will, because I know that is frustrating. And it should, yeah, I'll send y'all an email out, and anybody else that is wondering what we're talking about, it is kind of impossibly hard to just get it to run a report that tells you what your
Yeah.
totals are, and it is not intuitive whatsoever the way the system
Yeah.
works. So alternatively, what I can do is put, I think that if I can't get it to run through stars, I can host it on adrcla.org and have it generate the report and y'all pull it from there.
Okay.
But yeah, let me see what I can do there, but I'll get that solved.
Okay, that's
Give
fine.
me,
Thank you.
maybe 24 hours. Perfect. Anyone else on anything MIPPA? Not that you can't ask on MIPPA later, but just so that no one is forgetting anything.
Jessica.
And if not,
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
None of us have access to our account anymore. And they said it is up to you to unlock it, because I've already called Bose and Vicky. And it's up to you to reset and
I can unlock it for you.
Great.
As soon as I finish up here, I'll get you unlocked.
Perfect.
It just times out.
Yeah.
So that is no problem. And yeah, if anyone ever gets, there's some unlocked that I can do. There's some that only Booz Allen can do, but they make y'all kind of go through me as the first step regardless. If y'all ever get locked out of your account, like, you are always welcome to call and text my cell phone so that you're not waiting on me to get you unlocked. Because there's a lot of emails that come in, so, call me, because I don't want anybody, sitting there just waiting on it to get unlocked. And like I said, if it is the kind of unlock that I can't do. Hang on, I'm gonna mute y'all.
Ask them to mute.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute it. I'm sorry, y'all. There you go. If it's the kind of unlock that I can't do, that Booz Allen has to do, that's what the backup forms are there for, because it does take them a couple of hours to respond and get it taken care of. But yes, and same with anybody that has a CMS, like the CMS account number that can sometime lock. I can also unlock those. So if and when anyone gets locked out of anything, yeah, if you email me and you don't hear immediately right back from me, call me. And I would actually just call me first, just so that I can get to it as quickly as possible. And anything else? I have y'all muted, but I am going to move on to the next thing. And again, there's going to be 15 minutes for questions at the end. So if anybody has any other issues, we'll bring it up then. But I will now move on to the ADRC and SenioRx monthly report. So this is definitely new this year, and this will replace any other reporting that you have for ADRC and SenioRx. And let me go back so I can show you on the homepage where it is. So if you go to ADRC, it is the one link that's under ADRC SenioRx, and it will bring up the monthly report. And really, the there are several questions that are really reporting questions, and that's going to be the total number of clients serviced, the total amount of savings on prescription medication, and then the total people that were prescription only clients. The other questions down here are really kind of survey questions. So, I would love for y'all to answer them to the best of your ability, but it's not affecting your performance. It's really just to help me and help give an idea to, like, the state legislature when they decide whether or not they're going to renew our program, to give them an idea of the kinds of things y'all are doing in the program. But this is it, once each month. And if you can get it submitted by the 15th of the month after the month is done, that would be great. If you can't, shoot me an email and let me know. Yeah, as long as we are not sort of at the end of the reporting period, I can always give you a few more days to get the report in. That's not a problem. I'm hoping this will cut down the amount of time y'all are spending on reporting. And if anybody has any issues doing it, let me know, and we will get to it. But that is the sum total of what is going to be different about the ADRC SenioRx sort of reporting. Everything else remains the same. And yeah, that is it. The last thing that I want to talk about is the dementia funding. And in case anybody was not aware of sort of how we got here, we became aware that the state legislature passed the funding after it was passed. and really had no idea what the intent of the funding was. So this is gonna be an entirely new program. We have been informed by the legislature that they do intend to make this annual and repeat it next year. There's no guarantees like there, like always, but we are hoping that that will continue because I really think the ADRCs have gone so long without having an increase in y'all's funding, and y'all just do so much with so little. So hopefully this will help some of y'all out. And just to go through, hang on, let me move this. Just to go through what the requirements are. I know that y'all are sort of already into the fiscal year. There's only going to be 3 quarters of y'all even, having the contract to be able to get your performance in, but there's going to be basically 3 requirements every quarter. So each quarter, each ADRC will need to first have the person that you are designating your dementia specialist. They will need to watch 1 hour of any one of the training videos from the dementia specialist playlist and then complete a training certification quiz. So let me show you, there's 185 videos that are on the dementia specialist playlist. If you aren't interested in any of those videos, you are more than welcome to choose a different hour of training that you think is more applicable to your agency. Just send it to me via email and I'll approve it. And just to show y'all, and these are all on YouTube. They are each one of these is about an hour, but there are a couple, especially the videos by Tipa Snow. And I will just tell you the Tipa Snow videos, if you've never seen her or watched any of her presentations, but they're really great, especially in terms of how to communicate with people that are suffering from Alzheimer's, dementia and related diseases, how to handle problematic behaviors, how to deal with phone calls when if we can get YouTube, phone calls when you're having difficulty following the person or they're not remembering their information, etc. She's a great resource and kind of one of the biggest dementia influencers, if that's a thing, because I've heard her call herself that, but her videos are really good. Also, ACL has put out the National Alzheimer's and Related Dementia Care group. So I have an entire, I think it's maybe 20 something videos of their sort of monthly webinars. And those are all really good, especially there are a lot of them that are other ADRC programs that have started new dementia awareness outreach or care specialist programs like y'all, and they have some really great ideas in terms of outreach activities with the community, adopting a dementia assessment form, just a lot of things that depending on your particular ADRC and how y'all operate and how much, sort of client interface y'all have, you can go through and choose the one that works the best for you. The certification quiz is really just a way for me to generate a certificate for y'all, recognizing that you completed the hour, and it really is just gonna ask you what you learned in the video, if there were any particularly good tips, tools, or other information that will help you meet the needs of persons living with dementia, and whether or not you would recommend the video to another ADRC as a good video to watch. Once you submit the quiz and let me go to it. So the training playlist is right here. And it's gonna take a minute to load, but it will the YouTube link to the whole playlist is linked on this page. Here we go. So and you can see at the top are all of the NADRC webinars. And I am gonna post I made a little summary of the content of each of the videos so that y'all could know what they were about. And I will also post that and email that out to y'all. And let me show you what the quiz looks like. And once you complete the quiz, I will send you a certificate so that you kind of have it for your files and records, and you will do 1 unit each quarter. So 3 total hours. You can do the 3 hours at the very beginning. You can do 1 each quarter. You can do them all at the end. It's whatever works for y'all. And that is all you need to do for that. The second activity is each ADRC needs to host 1 activity or training for 2 or more members of the staff of your ADRC besides you to educate them about Alzheimer's, dementia, and related disorders. And that can be anything from information about basic dementia facts, how to deal with problematic behaviors, effective communication tips, resources available at your agency or in the community, caregiver concerns, and or dementia prevention awareness, any sort of related topic. And I know some agencies were not super excited about just, watching a training video with several members of the staff. That is more than adequate. So if you would like to do any other activity that you feel like would educate, inform, and increase awareness of the other members of your ADRC, that is also totally acceptable. And I would like it to be an hour each quarter, but if it runs under that and you've done a different activity, just let me know. And so that's another one that's going to be once each quarter, and that'll be 2 or more other members of your staff. And
Jessica, I
yes,
just have a quick question.
that is this. Yes, ma'am.
Jessica.
Sure.
So
Yes,
I just
ma'am.
have a quick question. So with the training, are you suggesting that just 1 person in the ADRC do the training, or anybody that will be providing information do the training?
So if you're only required to have 1 person watch the hour of training videos each quarter, if you have other members that are also going to be providing information, that will satisfy, and they watch an hour of training, that will satisfy your second requirement, which is to have 2 or more other members of your ADRC be trained, and they can either watch the videos on their own, watch them with your dementia specialist, or the dementia specialist can host it by themselves. It's just 2 or more other members of your ADRC. So if you have 3 members of your ADRC that all provide information and assistance and are going to help people with dementia, and you have all 3 of them watch an hour-long video each quarter, you will have satisfied both of the first 2 requirements. And all you will have left is the last unit, which is to host 1 dementia education awareness or out activity for not a member of your staff. That's anyone in the community, any other aging network agency, so any other AAA, COA, senior center, other provider, any members of the public, any professionals, so that's first responders, health professionals, otherwise, or any other non-ADRC staff members. So one activity or event each quarter to educate, boost awareness, or outreach for Alzheimer's, dementia, and related disorders each quarter. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. And I do have an additional toolkit that I'm gonna post that has all kinds of outreach, education, awareness, activities, events, materials, so that you know, anybody that can't think of an idea and is kind of struggling to come up with, we have tons of materials for y'all. ACL also has a large amount of resources, but we are kind of stuck. I don't know if any of y'all have been to ACL's website, but since the government is down, most of their resources are down. I did not realize that they actually took them down while they were non-operational, but you know, as soon as they come back, they will all be back up. I'm gonna post everything, anything that I get that I have a copy of that I can download, I will post to adrcla.org. And I will also send out to y'all via email whenever anything new comes in. In terms of additional training videos, each month ADRC has at least one training event, so those will get added automatically. Other videos I come across, those will all get added to the playlist automatically, and I will also add them to the list that has a summary of each video so that you can go through. And again, if there's any other training video that you find that you would rather consume over what is in the playlist, just let me know, and that is more than acceptable, as long as it is at all relevant or related to Alzheimer's, dementia, or caregiving to someone with Alzheimer's or dementia. That will be perfectly acceptable. Then each quarter, so this is a little different than your MIPPA and your ADRC SenioRx that you're going to be doing monthly. But each quarter, you will do a monthly, I'm sorry, a quarterly report. And I'm gonna pull it up here. And it is really just reporting exactly what we just talked about. The only additional thing that you're going to be doing is sort of recording any assistance that you provide to any persons living with dementia, their caregivers, loved ones, or anyone in connection with someone that has Alzheimer's or dementia. You are going to report the number of those people. I'm not including it sort of as a specific unit because I don't really want to give y'all a number of units that you have to meet, because I think it's kind of impossible for y'all to know or, you know, generate a specific number of people that you provide direct assistance to. But we do kind of want to track that and you know, see if as we move through the program, sort of the outreach increases those numbers. But you will report those in this quarterly report, along with just the basics about the other sort of quote unquote units. And that will be it for the dementia funding. So that really is only sort of 4 things that you want to be worried about tracking and making sure, and all of this is before the end. So I say each quarter, but you know, if you don't finish your 1 hour of training, you know, this, or your second hour of training, second quarter, that's fine, as long as it's done before the end of the contract period on June 30th. And I'll touch base with y'all, obviously between now and then, and anybody that's kind of not moving along through the program. You know, I'll help y'all figure out how to get there. And the payments are going to be made automatically on a monthly basis. So you don't have to worry about, you know, submitting invoices and any of that. And like I'm sure I told several of y'all, once you've completed your units, that money is earned. So it's for y'all to spend in your ADRC program, you know, in whatever way is best for your agency. And I'm hoping that, you know, this gives y'all an additional kind of source of funding for your ADRC, so that we're not so you know, on the edge every year with, you know, if the state pulls that funding, that being the only funding that you have. But you know, y'all do such incredible work in such a massive volume of work and savings for the seniors in the state that I'm not terribly worried that, you know, y'all SenioRx ADRC program would be on the chopping block. But this kind of, you know, just gives y'all an additional facet of why y'all are so valuable, and hopefully this will continue year after year and possibly increase if we have good results. I am thinking that if they continue it next year, because we kind of have advance warning, this will be a little better planned out. It was just a lot at once with very little sort of guidance or directive on what was expected. So I know this feels sort of thrown together, but I promise we will do our best to kind of flesh this out if the funding continues. And yeah, if y'all have any issues like along the way or problems completing any of this, any of the reports, any of the anything, let me know. I can help you figure out. I am 100% flexible. Like as long as I am not sort of going over the bounds of what I'm required to do, I am happy to be flexible to make anything work for what works best for y'all. So if you are sitting there doing something and saying, you know, man, I'm really, this is so inefficient and taking me a whole bunch of time, I wish I could do it this way, please let me know. And if there's any way for me to allow it, I will. Because, you know, I'm here to support y'all, not I'm not y'all's police. Like I'm y'all's like support, tech support and otherwise. So any way that I can make it easier for y'all or better for y'all, that is my end goal. Does anyone have any questions about any of the things we went over?
I just have one question about payment. So we would get paid quarterly after everything's been reconciled. So we will incur the cost up front and get, how does that work?
No.
So we would get like a portion, like a 1/3.
So I believe it, I'm gonna have to look at the contract again. I believe it's structured monthly, and as soon as your contract is approved, you're automatically gonna and once your contract's approved, you'll receive your first month on approval, and then it's gonna be monthly every month. So there's no incurring, y'all shouldn't really be incurring any cost. Do you know what I mean? And really it's just it's gonna get reconciled, at the end on the back end. But yeah, y'all should, and I have not checked with, Steve on what the status of y'all's contracts is currently. I will go check with him after this because they were kind of handling that separately. But, yeah, y'all, it should, and your first payment will actually be, for, July through whatever month that y'all get paid in, just because of how the contract worked out. So y'all should kind of have a big upfront payment and then the monthly payments, in equal amounts after that. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Great. And like I said, I'm gonna check on y'all's, the status of y'all's contracts, just to make sure that, everybody's has gotten in and it's gotten submitted to OCR and everything's good to go. And I will get Capital's STARS account unlocked. I'm also gonna figure out the reporting thing for STARS, and like I said, it will either be a report that y'all can all access from your STARS, or I will host it through adrcla.org, and hopefully simplify that reporting. It is very confusing, and I've even taken the whole course on the reporting, and it's just non-intuitive. So I will do my best to try to improve that for y'all. Anybody have any other questions before we go? If not, I want to thank all of y'all for really the amazing work that y'all do. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate y'all's time, knowledge, experience, and the great work that y'all do. So we are super thankful to have all of y'all. And I just, I'm always here if you need anything, have any questions, or I can help in any way. And otherwise, I hope y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday.